is my distinct pleasure to be here tonight. Now, I want you to understand something. The political leader told me he just spent the afternoon walking just up the hill from here, north of the Eastern Main Road, where our votes are strong. And the response was excellent. I want you to understand that. The population supports the People's National Movement. But history will tell you that in our strong areas, we always have a difficulty in getting our supporters to come out and vote on election day. There are so many districts that we can win if only the PNM people come out in their numbers. So I'm urging you tonight, the turnout always drops off in a local government election. Make this one different. Make this one like the 2013 local government election, when you sent a message to the UNC and you began the end of the UNC. That election had the highest turnout in a local election, 43%. Usually it's around 30%. I am asking you tonight, show the PNM how much you love the PNM. And let's have a 50% turnout in this local election or more. And once our people come out in Mount Lambert and Pittsburgh and in San Juan, all the areas that support the PNM, and also we get the votes from other people, we will win this election resoundingly. But you need to come out and vote. Don't sit down on your laurels and think we win already. We ain't win already. We have not won already. We will win when the votes are counted on November 28th and the PNM comes marching home in San Juan East and in the San Juan Laventille Regional Corporation. So don't make joke with this election for me, please. And you have to understand, the other side is desperate. Desperate. And before I get into one of the main elements of my presentation tonight, understand something. We are dealing with an opposition party and an opposition leader that is under tremendous pressure. You have to understand, the current leader of the opposition has the world record for losing elections. And for those who don't remember, let me remind you, they lost a by-election in Chaguanas West in 2013. They lost the local government election in 2013. They lost the by-election in St. Joseph in 2013 when my brother Terence Dialsing came marching home. They lost the THA election in 2013, 12-0. 4 elections they lost in 2013. That was bad licks. They lost the general election in 2015. And they lost 2 by-elections in December 2015. That is 7 elections that Kamala has lost. 7 in the last 3 years in a row. That's a world record. And now I want you to send her to the Guinness Book of Records and make her lose for the 8th straight time. You see, she's under pressure. She's under pressure. They lost the election petition. Remember, oh yes, I'm being reminded that if they didn't go and throw Munilal ballots in the river, she would have lost the internal election too, in the lagoon. They find all kind of ballots with Munilal name on it by the side of a river. All you remember that? But anyway, the opposition leader is under pressure. She has lost the court case. Remember when they lost the election in 2015? They say PNM thief the election. They tell the supporters they really win. They went and filed 6 court cases, 6 election petitions, asking the court to throw out the results of the elections in 6 PNM seats in Moruga Tableland, in St. Joseph, La Joqueta Talparo, San Fernando West, and so on. 6 PNM seats, they say they should have win. So they went to court, and they lost the case in the High Court. So they lose the election, she said they win. They went in the High Court and challenged the election. They lose, she said they win. They went, they appeal the case, they went in the Court of Appeal, they lose, she said they win. So you have to understand, for the last 12 months, the leader of the opposition has been giving her supporters false hope. She lose 7 elections in a row, and now she lose 2 court cases in a row. So now they have to face the PNM in government for the next 4 years. And they can't take that, because you see, they're worried about what the PNM will discover, what we will discover. We're taking our time, you know, some people are impatient. They expect to see things happen overnight. But when we take these matters into the jurisdiction, we don't want to lose no case, you know. We want to win. So we're taking our time. So just have patience. They're worried. And then you remember that meeting down in Diego Martin in October when Kamala bring Anil Roberts on the stage in Diego Martin, the live sport man, and say how he get exonerated and the judge say how he innocent? She lie. Lie. The judge didn't say no such thing. The judge has sent the matter back to the Ministry of Finance simply for us to give the accused persons one last chance to respond to the allegations against them. And I can assure you, we're going to do that right. We have hired an experienced senior counsel to guide and instruct the officials in the Ministry of Finance and explain to them exactly what they have to do in order to follow the laws of natural justice. We will give those miscreants a chance to explain themselves, and then come in again. That report has gone nowhere. It has simply gone back for it to be done properly. So you see, they're worried. They're very, very, very worried. And this brings me now to what I have come here to speak about. You see, these UNC people are so reckless. They don't care the lies they tell about people and people's families. And I have come here to defend ministers' wives. Somebody has to do it, and I'm going to do it. Because I see this lady talking about government ministers hiding behind their wives. Let me deal with Minister Franklin Can. This lady has accused Franklin Can of hiding behind his wife in the award of contracts in the millions of dollars. And she's so bold-faced and twisted. She wants to make you feel that these contracts were awarded under the Keith Rowley government. She lie. Lie. Let me tell you what the facts are. I asked Minister Khan to tell me what went on, and he has provided me with certain information. And between the period 2011 through 2012, through 2014, a number of contracts were awarded to the company that is owned by Minister Khan's wife, by Kamla Prasad Basasa. $15 million worth of contracts awarded by Kamla, paid for by Kamla. The last contract they got was in 2014. They have not received a single contract under the Keith Rowley PNM administration. Not one. This woman could lie. Shameful. And let me tell you how she's so vicious when it comes to Minister Khan. You remember in 2005, Mr. Khan had to resign from ministerial office, and he became a backbench MP. And then between 2007 and 2010, he was not in the parliament. And between 2010 and 2015, he was not in the parliament. So Minister Khan has not been a minister of government since 2005. He became a minister again in 2015 after 10 years. Not a single contract was awarded to any company associated with Minister Khan or his wife while he was a cabinet minister? Not one. You saw this woman dangerous. And if that company is so unworthy of getting work, if that company is useless and no good, if that company got contracts through wrongdoing and impropriety, then why did Kamala award $15 million in contracts to Minister Khan's wife and pay Minister Khan's wife $15 million? You see how these people could lie? That is lie. And you know, I have something to tell her. There was a motion of no confidence in 2012. It was the first motion of no confidence that Dr. Rowley launched in the parliament against the Kamala Prasad administration. The date was 2012. And you know the same things that they're saying now, they say it then. There's nothing new about any of this, you know. Nothing new. The same foolishness that they're saying now, they say it in 2012 under Kamala. And in that debate, I had certain things to say because they wanted to complain about ministers' wives. So here I am reading from my Hansard. This is me speaking in March the 3rd, 2012. And I was referring to Munilal. And Mr. Munilal had said that if anybody in the People's Partnership Administration tries to get a contract exceeding $2 for their relatives, the Prime Minister will shut it down immediately. That is what Munilal said in that debate in 2012. That if anybody in the Kamala government tried to give their relative a contract for $2, Kamala will shut it down immediately. And this is what I had to say. That I read into the record that contracts amounting to $1.4 million were awarded to the wife of the then Minister of Trade and Industry, Stephen Cadiz. I read it into the record. I indicated that the company had not tendered for the contracts. They had received contracts to do work on schools under the UNC. So under Kamala, one of our ministers gave his company to his wife. They got a contract without tender, and they did work for the Education Facilities Company Limited, and I said it in the parliament in March 2012. And they couldn't say a word because I had all the documents. But this woman parading up and down Trinidad and Tobago, saying that under her administration, they never gave money to politicians' relatives. You hear lie? That is lie. Look, I have another one. You ever hear about a fella called Michael Munilal? You know who Michael Munilal is? Michael Munilal is the brother of Rudal Munilal. And I have documents here from National Quarries dating back to 2013. And Mr. Michael Munilal was given contracts by National Quarries under the UNC. This is Munilal brother, you know. The real boldface, you know. And I have the check numbers and the dates. 13th of March 2013. Check number 19125, $50,000. Another check on 13th of March 2013, 1927, $50,000. 22nd of March, $50,000. 9th of April, $50,000. Between March 2013 and September 2013, Michael Munilal, brother of Rudal Munilal, received $2 million from the National Quarries Company. I can't take it. These people could lie. Oh, let me tell you what KD say. Questioned about Imbert's parliamentary disclosures during the no confidence motion. I'm reading from the Newsday of March 2012. KD say that my companies, this is a government minister talking, you know, Minister of Trade and Industry. Hear what he say? My companies have always worked for the government. They work for the PNM, they work for the UNC. That's KD's Minister of Trade and Industry. And he says, when you have a family business and you're going to government, what you're supposed to do? And he gave the company to his wife. And the wife then gets a contract from Education Facilities, without any experience, without any tendering. And they have the brass face to come and talk about PNM. And you know what hurts me about all of this? This lady, she has gone crazy. Somebody showed me the tape of that UNC Monday night forum at Diego Martin on October 24th. And I couldn't believe what they were telling me. So I get the tape and I watch it myself. I had to look at it myself. Look at what I saw. She brought Anil Roberts on the platform, the live sport man. She said he had been exonerated by the court. He promised to appoint him to the Senate. And she said, God, don't sleep. You know, the devil could quote scriptures for their own purpose. But as I said, the court didn't say any such thing. The court sent the report back to the Ministry of Finance for us to finish it. And Anil and the $34 million man were not exonerated by anyone. But what get me vexed? I'm watching this tape because somebody tell me watch it. When it reached 2 hours and 58 minutes, look at what the woman's saying. I watch it tonight. She gets so carried away praising the live sport man. She lost all reason. And these words came out of her mouth. She said the Rowley government puts itself first, second, and third. And under the PNM, my wife was given a contract somewhere in the southeast for $75 million without any tender, and the project went up to $200 million. You see this woman mad? Lawsuit coming, Kamla. Lawsuit coming. We have already filed 3 pre-action protocol letters with the Express for the damn foolishness which they put in the papers this last 2 weeks. Damn foolishness, lies. Kamla, lawsuit coming for you. How dare you say that under the Rowley administration, my wife get a contract for $200 million. You are a compulsive liar, Kamla. That never happened. Never. I can say on this platform here tonight without any fear of contradiction that my wife never received any contract under the Keith Rowley PNM administration. Not one. The payments she received were under the Kamla Prasad administration. They're so damn bold-faced with themselves, putting all kind of stupidness on the papers. How Mrs. Imbert gets $7.5 million. Lie! She get $100,000. And out of that $100,000, $75,000 was for reimbursable expenses like security, telephone, water, electricity. The lady get $25,000. $25,000 that it was owing her for 3 years. You see these people wicked? And all they want to do is come in the parliament and bust Mark. Come in the parliament and bust Mark. I saw talking some nonsense in the papers today about how she never gave a contract to her sister. I say, You never give a contract to your sister? All right. I've gone in my files. I pull out an article. April 26, 2012. Kamla's sister paid $868,258. You want to hear that again? Kamla's sister paid $868,258. Newsday, April 26, 2012. And when they ask her what's going on, why you pay your sister $868,000? She say, I need my sister. This is in the Express, you know. March 10, 2012. I need my sister. Kamla defends relatives' foreign travel costs. Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Besesa has defended her sister's traveling costs as new figures reveal that Vidwati Newton has cost taxpayers $800,000 on trips to Brazil, London, and Australia. The Office of the Prime Minister spent $338,000 for Vidwati to accompany Prasad Besesa to Australia. And so it goes on. India trip, Kamla's travel assistant cost $233,000. And when you read it, what she say? I need my sister. I need my sister. The kind of job I am doing, it requires somebody to assist me personally. I trust my sister. I feel comfortable with her, handling my medication. She's a nurse. When they check, the lady not registered anywhere. $868,000 for this lady to carry she bag and give her cricks and saltfish to eat. Well, I never. No, I ain't not in that. I'm not taking no basket from behind me here. I come to talk serious talk tonight. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I just made these points. I want you to understand the record of the UNC is that they give contracts to unqualified people with no experience, without tender. The record of the PNM, they give contracts to people with experience who are qualified, who go through a competitive tender process. That is the difference between them and us. And let me tell you something. I'm not taking no basket, There are PNM people in this country who are experienced, they are professionals, they are qualified, they are citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, and once they come through the front door and they follow the rules and they bid and they win contracts fair and square, I will defend them. I'm not taking that. I'm not taking that. And before I leave off on my wife, imagine my wife has been in the construction industry for 20 years. Hold on. 20 years this lady in the construction industry. Building houses all over the Caribbean, in St. Kitts, in Grenada, in Trinidad. Over 300 houses she built already. 20 years. And her business partner, an engineer in business for 40 years. Between the two of them, they have 60 years experience in construction. And I have to listen to this damn foolishness from Kamala. I'm not taking that. She is a compulsive liar. And I want to come off this topic now by saying all those stories you are reading in the papers is lies. All those contracts were awarded under the UNC. Those payments were made under the UNC. No contracts were awarded under the Keith Rowley administration. It's all a tissue of lies designed to taint and contaminate. They don't care, They have money, So they know when they go to court and they have to face the lawsuit, they could lose, They know that, They have money, They could pay a lawyer. They want to taint and contaminate. Well, I am not taking that. So I'm done with that stupidness. Lawsuit coming for you, Kamala. And let me talk about the Ministry of Finance now. Because in one of these foolish articles, I saw an allegation that I, as Minister of Finance, use my position to cause money to be released to the Housing Development Corporation to pay money to my wife. Lie. Let me tell you what the facts are. In November 2015, I had been Minister of Finance for 2 months. And those imps that Dr. Rowley got rid of, sorry, not Dr. Rowley, don't let me blame Dr. Rowley for this before somebody says he. Those imps that were gotten rid of were still in the HDC. I received a request to release funds to the Housing Development Corporation. Now, the Minister of Finance only deals with money for state enterprises. Every other payment is made by the permanent secretary. But a system was set up years ago that when money is to be released to state enterprises like HDC, TIDCO, NEDCO, anybody, any state enterprise, the Minister of Finance is required to sign a document called a warrant. And the warrant comes to me, and attached to the warrant are supporting documents. Invoices, audit reports, internal correspondence, they are backup documentation. So this big fat document landed on my desk in November 2015. Remember, I'm minister for only 2 months. And when I look at it, it's a request to send $160 million to the HDC. Now, the allocation for the HDC for 2016 was only $160 million. So they asked for all the money. And I want to remind you, this is when the UNC appointed officials were still there. They hadn't been taken out of the UNC, out of HDC yet. So I look at this thing, I say, but wait now. Why is the Housing Development Corporation sending a request for the entire allocation? They can't spread it out. ask for 40 million and then the next 40 and the next. I say something wrong here. So I go in the back. So I start looking at the invoices and the audit reports and so on. And all I've seen is big payments to contractors who were hired under the UNC. I just look at it, I say, this is looking funny, yes? I put it down. I leave it there. I go on and do something else. 2 days later, I come back, I say, let me pick up this thing, let me look at this thing, yes? I do so, page 1, UNC contractors. Page 2, UNC contractors. Page 3, UNC contractors. Page 4, UNC contractors. Page 5, UNC contractors. Page 6, UNC contractors. Page 7, payments for Mrs. Imbert. I say, oh, you feel like stupid? I send it back. I say, I wasn't born yesterday. I say, send that back. I am no ass. You're trying to set me up. So I never send the money. They're so stupid. They figure I was born yesterday. But somebody tell them how they send the thing. They didn't tell them the whole story, that when I get it, I read it, and I realize they're trying to set me up. I send it back. I never pay it. They're so stupid. They didn't know the second part, so they want to say, Imbert send money for your wife. That too is a lie. Total lie. I have been in public life for 25 years. I would never fall for a low-down, dirty trick like that. Can't catch me so. So those are the facts, ladies and gentlemen. Those are the facts. But let me come now to the economy, because there's been a lot of talk about the economy. And I want to tell you, things will get better. We are going through a difficult time, but things will get better. You have elected a P&M government. And we know what we are doing. We have to consolidate, we have to stabilize. But things will improve. Better days are coming, people. So just hold a little strain. And don't bother with the mischief that you may see people saying. These commentators who always have something to say. They always want to tell you the sky is falling, doom and gloom. Don't worry with them. You have elected a good government, a strong government, an intelligent government, a government that cares about you, that cares about little people, that cares about the common man, that cares about the poor, and we are going to look after you, and things will get better. So let me end where I began. The Prime Minister walked up the hill today. He got a fantastic response. But that doesn't mean anything. It only means something when it is translated into votes. So I urge you, take nothing for granted. Talk to your family, your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, your auntie, your nana, your niece, your nephew, your compare, your friend. We need every single P&M vote to come out on November 28th, and we'll send these people packing for the 8th straight time. Let us give Kamala a place in the Guinness World Book of Records. Let us make her lose her 8th straight election. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Realize and we focus for all, and we reconnect and live in the community. Realize the reform is